Hey, what's going on, guys? Guido here, bringing you another Black Desert Online guide. Today we're going to be going over the entire Berserker uh, skill tree, skill guide, whatever you want to call it. Pretty much, I'm going to be starting from the pre-awakening, going all the way down to the awakening. I'm not going to be doing the succession or any of that. We don't have that yet, but I definitely will in the future. Can't wait for this to be released. Some great stuff coming for that. Absolutely can't wait to do some coverage on that. It's going to be amazing. Sorry I haven't uploaded a lot of videos in a while. It's been really hard, but now I can at least do this, go over some stuff while talking to you. So I'm just going to be giving you my take on each skill. And we're just going to be doing it on our version of the game. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with a lot of the PC videos and the PC Zerkers and how they do it, but this is a lot more catered to our version, so yeah. So we're going to start with Elastic Force. This skill is definitely a relic of the past in terms of what it was used for, which was damage, filler in between skills. It was constantly used back in the day. Got nerfed. They added a little kind of FD double axe slam-esque sort of thing at the end, so it's been severely nerfed, so it's not even used anymore. So, excuse me. So this is just not even worth upgrading. Don't even waste your time. This is definitely not worth upgrading at all. The ultimate and the absolute, just completely forget about it. You don't even use this. If there was an option for Berserker to lock this, I would lock this. This is 100% useless, and especially in 2020, in this day and age of the meta, this outdated move does nothing and it serves no purpose. The second set of skills that we'll be talking about is Evasion, Ultimate Evasion, and our passive. So let's start with Evasion. Unlike the majority of other classes, this is unlocked. You do use this. As you can see with the animation down there, it's actually different from a lot of other classes. A lot of other classes just roll, the combat roll. Excuse me. And yeah, we don't use that. We use this for mobility. It's used constantly. This as well as Ultimate Evasion. So you use both pretty much. So make sure you leave Evasion unlocked and you spec into Ultimate Evasion. It's used for a lot of animation canceling abilities as well as just movement. Lastly, with this section right here, we're going to be talking about Fort of Giant. This is your passive as a Berserker. Berserker's role is a bruiser. A lot of people used to call him an off tank. I don't agree with that, but I would say he's more of a bruiser. At least that's what his intention is. So he's got HP. So this is automatically learned at level 20. You get this 250 HP automatically added to your health bar. So that's nice. HP is always good. Moving on with the kit. So next skill we're going to be talking about is Headbutt. So if you really strap for SP, you don't have to get the absolute version of this, but getting the rank 4 version will do you just fine. The absolute just gives you more damage. I don't think it gives you anything else. It's pretty nice. It gives you 15% melee accuracy. It's really nice. Helps on a lot of skills that aren't as good, like Beastly Wind Slash, Fearsome Tyrant maybe. Spins helps on. The damage will go through a lot more since it's negative accuracy on those skills. So this is nice. It's got a good knockdown on it, so it's unprotected obviously, but you use this mid combo or stuff like that. You do not have to hold it down. Excuse me. You just have to just quickly just tap it, left, right trigger, boom, you're good. So that's nice. Like I said, if you're really strapped for SP, you don't have to pick up the absolute version. Just pick up rank 4. It'll do you just fine. Next, so I can just get these out of the way, I'm going to talk about Smackdown, Undertaker, Corpse Storm, and Rock Smash. So I'll just go in order here from top to bottom. So, Smackdown right here, this is your staple grab. This is what you use in pretty much every situation ever in terms of grappling. This is your bread and butter grab. You use this for combos. I mean, it's just a staple grab. This is the grab. Like there's no sort of if, ands, or buts about that. You use this for combos. You use this for just everything. It's used constantly. Get this to absolute immediately. This is definitely priority. It's 20 on the absolute, 12 on the fourth, 10 on the third. You know, it gets progressively higher as you rank it up, but it's worth it. I mean, it's absolutely worth it. Smackdown, Corpse Storm, Undertaker, and Rock Smash all have super armor, but it's not super armor that you might think. So I'm going to get into that in a second, what I mean by that. So when you fail an attempted grab with Smackdown, Corpse Storm, or Rock Smash, what happens is it will do an attempt. So what that means is that you'll do a weird wonky animation where you do like a kick and like a headbutt. So when you do a failed attempt, you have super armor, but that doesn't mean like when you just grab the air. That means when you go to grab an opponent and you're close to them and whatever happens, and let's say that it failed, right? You will have super armor for that failure as long as it's a good attempt, is what I'm saying. But with Rock Smash and Corpse Storm, you can grab the air and you're protected the entire time, regardless if you had a good attempt or not. You're going to have super armor regardless. Rock Smash, in this case, would just do a weird headbutt if you're just doing it in the air, but it will do the same animation as Corpse Storm if you're doing it if you had a good attempt but it failed. You know what I'm talking about if you've ever gone to grapple somebody and it just does that weird animation. That's what I'm talking about pretty much. Moving on though, now that we got that over with, when you have a person grappled, you have super armor. But this is what I was saying before. This isn't just normal super armor. This is a protected ability. And what I mean by that is that you cannot be grappled out of super armor, because usually super armor gets countered by grabs. But in this case, that's just not how it works. How it works is that when you have a person successfully grappled in Smackdown, Corpse Storm, or Rock Smash, and as well as Undertaker, you cannot be grabbed out of it. You can get killed through it, but you cannot be grabbed. You cannot get CC'd. If you do get CC'd, that's bullshit, and it's desync, or whatever it is, quote-unquote desync. So moving on throughout the grabs, I'm just going to go down now, because we just covered Smackdown. Corpse Storm. This is more of a defensive grab. Like I said, super armor. Upon fail, good attempt, and successful grapple, it's full of super armor. This is, like I said, more of a defensive grab. This is sort of a last resort grab for a lot of people. This is also an SA filler. So, like I said before, you don't have to successfully grapple or attempt. It can just be randomly thrown in the air and you'll get that super armor. A lot of people use it for that if everything else is down, because Berserker has no SA. So that's what they sometimes use it for. A little risky, but it does work. Get this to rank 2. Getting it to absolute's beyond useless. Don't even waste your time. It's just not worth the hassle. Doesn't do a really big increase in damage. It's not even noticeable. They can pot right through it. So get this to rank 2. It'll reduce the cooldown. Moving on to Undertaker. This is a super armor. As mentioned before, fully protected. Rank 3 does the most damage. It does scale with your HP, so that's why. It will take 10% of your maximum HP and turn that into extra damage on top of the normal ability damage. So to activate this, you just press A or space, etc. after you grab somebody with Smackdown or Corpse Storm. And you can pretty much use this in a team fight to bring opponents to your allies, or you can bring the opponent away if they're a really big threat, or whatever the situation may come as, and you can bound them. So pretty much how this works is that the person that you originally grapple, when you're flowing into Undertaker, the person that you have grappled is already bound. It already counts as like a grapple. It counts as a bound already. The second that they touch the ground, it's a grapple. It's a bound, which is 1 CC. So when you take the opponent and you throw them into the air with Undertaker, that's a bound too. But the person that you have in your hand isn't CC'd. So what I mean by that is that if you were to take a person with Smackdown, use Undertaker, you can continue CCing them because only the people that get bound by the effect of it, the other person. So if there was 4 people and you have this one person, he was the 4th guy. So you grab him and you throw him into those 3 people. Those 3 people would get CC'd, and those people would count as a bound. But the person that you have grappled wouldn't, and you can continue CCing that person. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, I like that. So this is really good in team fights, the group fights, getting threats away from your team. You can spring in the air, literally towards a group of enemies. It's nice. Undertaker rank 3 is also required to animation cancel Smackdown, left or right. I'm pretty sure you don't need it to go backwards, but yeah, so when you go left or right with your analog, you need Undertaker rank 3 to do that. So make sure you grab that. Do not get the absolute. Then lastly, before we continue going back up to Storming Beast, we're talking about Rock Smash. So like before, I just told you, doesn't matter if you fail it, if you attempt it, if it's in the air, it doesn't matter. You'll have super armor. When the person's grappled, you're in SA, full protected SA, and you can take the opponent, bring it to other enemies. You can press A to pile drive them to the ground. You can hold them in the air, let your opponents damage them. You can just throw them right down. There's a multitude of things you can do with this grapple. Keep in mind you gotta bind Corpse Storm and Rock Smash to a ring menu slot. Okay, going back up. Storming Beast. This is a really good skill. It's got an evasion debuff on it. Decent damage in PvE. Amazing catch in PvP. It's really good all around. You want to make sure you grab this. I use this every time right before I do my debuff in PvP and PvE on opponents, because evasion's cancer. So you want to definitely grab that. Make sure, just get this to absolute. It'll just be easier for you. Just get this absoluted, and make sure you grab the ultimate version, because you can use this out of a variety of situations, like doing evasion, Storming Beast. Ultimate Storming Beast could do Lava Piercer into Ultimate Storming Beast. It's nice. It's really nice to catch people. It really is. Moving on to Shake Off. Skill used to be an iframe back in the day. So it's really not that reliable anymore. It's a very bad super armor. It's got a 4-second cooldown. Has collision, so it's very unreliable in terms of a good super armor. It does break free from opponents sometimes, but I don't recommend it. It's mainly used for mobility and like the crab walk, or for flamebuster spam on console. But I don't recommend using this for flamebuster spam because it's too slow. So you just use it for the mobility. Rank it up to rank 4. SA, can't go wrong. Just get it even though it's really bad SA. Just pick it up anyways. Moving on to Tackling Rock, rank 3. At least on our version of the game, this provides not only a forward guard while charging and at the start of the skill, it provides an FG throughout the entire animation, I believe up until the end. So this is really good against in PvP, like against Dark Knights, Archers, Rangers. Just taking in a shit ton of damage from range, this is going to absorb that. So this is really good. Make sure you pick this up. It's really good in PvP. Absolutely phenomenal. I heard some rumors that on PC it doesn't really work. Like the FG is only at the start and only at the start, but console that's not the case. So pick that up for PvP. Very good. Falling Rock, can ignore that. Rock Smash, obviously pick that up. Weakling Hunt, completely ignore. It's a troll skill. BC Windslash, if you have the SP, if you really have some SP to spare, you can get this to extreme. That's gonna give you the 20% movement speed bonus. So it's really good for catching opponents in PvP. It's really good. I use this constantly in my buff rotations, as should any other Zerg. I mean, they use this constantly. On our version of the game, you have to unlock Windstorm, which is a flow. It's 18 skill points, and then 20 for ultimate. This will allow you to do ultimate evasion after any situation of ultimate evasion, so like crab walk into this, or headbutt, ultimate evasion, beast of wind slash. There's more than that, but I'm just listing examples. You can use this for beast of wind slash and use it really quickly. It's nice. So make sure you grab the extreme version when you have enough SP. Fierce Strike, I'm not really going to cover. I don't think it's that good of a skill anymore. It's more of a gem of the past, yet again, for pre-awakening, so it's not really worth your time, man. Not at all. It's good for succession, but you know, not in pre-awakening. FD Frenzy Destroyer pretty much destroys this in every single way. Ignore Claw Score as well. So Frenzy Destroyer, you want to get this to absolute pretty much ASAP. It's the bread and butter. You use this in a lot of combos and skills and stuff. Use it. I also use this in my add-on guide. You can check out. Does a shit ton of damage. It's really good. It's got obviously no protection. I mean, nothing does on Zerg, but really good skill. Make sure you get this. It's a staple in PvP and PvE, so pick that up. If you do siege a lot, you can use Quake and Fury, but I don't recommend it. I mean, if you're using FD and siege anyways, you're just gonna get killed. You're gonna get CC'd. It doesn't even matter. And using this is a waste of time. The charge up time on it, and you know, it's used. I've used it before. It does a lot of damage, but it just takes too long to cast, man. It's just unrealistic. Don't waste your time with that, man. Just get the absolute and move on. Moving on to Predatory Hunt. Absolutely amazing skill. Except it's got one problem. It has hit stun on it, and I can put a little video on the side showing you what I mean by that. And this skill just suffers from that more than any move in this entire kit. I mean, you are literally frozen in the air. Using this in large scale is it's gonna get you killed, so there's no point to even using it. It's the only offensive protected ability that's a super armor on this entire kit, so it's nice in that regard, but it's useless since the hit stun gets you killed in midair. It's good for PvE though, because you can get the critical rating, so that will give you more damage on all your abilities. It's not just on this skill, it gives you just a buff on all abilities. So it's 22% after 2 jumps and 30% after 4. Good skill. It's SA. Pick it up. Can't go wrong. Next skill that we're going to be going over is Raging Thunder. This is amazing for endgame grind spots. You're going to be using this constantly, so make sure you pick this up. If you're a newer Berserker, don't pick this up if you don't have enough skill points. It's not worth your time. But as you get more SP, make sure you get this immediately. This is worth every penny. Pick that up. It's also good to BM people with in 1v1s, but you know, it's only for BM. The next thing that we'll be looking at is the heals, and then we'll go into Lava Piercer. So pretty much, Fearsome Tyrant, we're going to start with. So I just want to cover something real quick. I'm tired of other people saying that this is super armor at the start of the skill. It does not work. Stop saying it works. It does not work. It's a pathetic ability. It gets you killed. The ultimate gets you killed. It has no use besides a heal out of when you're not using it. This is what I would consider a last resort heal when absolutely nothing else is available, and even then, using this with anybody around you is taking a huge leap of faith. I mean, you got to be pretty confident in yourself if you think you're going to be using this at all. It's got a 1 minute 45-second cooldown. Absolutely insane cooldown. Ridiculous. It's slow, it's stationary, it has no protection. The ultimate's horrible besides the stun. If you get hit with an attack speed debuff with this on, you are done. You're done. You're done for. I recommend just keeping this at rank 1. It is absolute garbage. This skill is trash. So keep this at rank 1. Rank 2, my bad. Second skill we'll be looking into is Beast Roar. This is finally a good heal. I usually bind this to one of my hotbars, usually LT up on my D-pad, so left trigger up. The reason why I bind it is because it allows me to use it while I'm in Awakening, and it allows me to animation cancel it when opponents are surrounding me, and I quickly press RB to knock down them. It's a protected heal that heals you for 350 HP per second. It also stacks with your fairy potion, just like every other heal. So this is good. Get this to rank 3. The next heals that we're talking about is Wrath of Beast and Ire of Beast. These are good. They're protected. Wrath of Beast doesn't do that much damage. It's an extremely slow heal, and unlike PC, slower frames and no click to move makes you extremely easy to CC while this is up. It'd be really nice if they made it so that it was sped up or something, or we can turn it. It's way too slow in my opinion. Pick this up, get it to rank 3, it'll reduce the cooldowns on all the abilities besides Fearsome Tyrant, so this will bring it to 45 seconds, 45 seconds, 45 seconds, so make sure you do that. Iron Beast does a shit ton of damage, especially at Absolute, it's a lot of damage. It will heal you based on attack speed. This has been one of the biggest complaints from a lot of Berserkers. They really wish that it was just based off of maximum HP, not not attack speed and all that, because if you get hit with an attack speed debuff while Wrath is going and Ire, you are really slow, and it's brain dead easy to get CC'd from behind, because you can't turn the forward guard, so you're just stationary. But get this to rank 3. It's very good. So heal, bind it to a ring menu, can't go wrong, and you need it anyways later on for Wailing Beast. Next skill that we're going to be going over is Lava Piercer. This is obvious. I mean, this is your only protected mobility. Super armor. So use this. It's pretty much your only escape out of Giant Leap. So use this. It's really good. Catches people. You can use it as an escape. Fast. Ignore that description though, where it says ignores incoming attacks. It's definitely not the case. You take full damage in it, and it has hit stun, so the duration gets lowered. So you gotta watch out for that. Yeah. So get this to rank 3. Very important. So upgrading that. Show you what you need. Let me go through here. Just going through here, showing you guys what to get when you have enough SP. Okay. Okay, so moving on to our passives. A lot of people wonder, Do I get these passives? Of course you do. Make sure you get that immediately. It's not even a question. Get this. This will give you 5% critical rating and 10% crit. Very important. So we benefit from that. And I'm 63, so if you were also 63, you get this. It'll give you 2% more all accuracy rating. So what does that mean? That pretty much means on every ability that you have, it'll add additional accuracy rating. So let's just say I have 7%, right? Because I have Seizing Fear, XXI. So Raging Thunder has a negative 5% accuracy rating. This would give it 2% accuracy rating. That's what it means. It would give FD a 7% accuracy rating. That can also be increased with add-ons, so you can get that up more. So yeah, get all the passives, get every single passive, everything here, everything, HP, monster AP, get that. And before we go into the Awakening, I'm going to go into the bombs and the passive, our second passive. So this increased grip, this is really old, this is years old. This is built from a time when the giant would grab chain people in order to kill, and that's just not the case anymore. It's a very old, so you won't be doing that anymore, obviously. But since the Berserker still relies on a grapple to CC anybody, you will need this to grapple opponents. So this will give you a 30% ignore all resistance to opponents when grabbing them. This also does stack with precision crystals or any ignore crystals that you have. It also stacks with like alchemy stones as well. So just imagine increased grip as a 30% ignore all resistance when you're grappling. Very cool. Automatically learned. Don't have to worry about that. It's already there. So it's good. There were bombs. Axe of Destruction is the worst ability in the entire game. It does less damage than a Frenzy Destroyer. And the forward guard is meaningless with a 45-second cooldown. No thanks. Wailing Beast. This is literally the best ability in the Pre-Awakening kit, in my opinion. This is just so good. I love it. Used to have a bound on it. They took that away, but that's okay. You bind this to a ring menu. It's a super armor for the entire animation. It's got a very rapid regenerating heal on it. And it does a shit ton of damage. It's got a 50% critical rating on it. You can hit 10 opponents. You can see it there. It does 1,116 times 5. And the transformation damage is 279 times 11 while you're transforming into the beast. Does a lot. So I use this as you've seen in my video, Annihilation. I use this in combos. Very good skill. Absolutely love it. I love it in every regard. Great skill. Wish it had, obviously, I wish all the heals scaled off of maximum HP, but maybe that'll get changed later on, but get this. Absolutely amazing. You need Beast Roar 3 and Wrath of Beast 3. So, getting this to rank 3 and this. So get this immediately. The second bombs that we'll be looking at is Feral Rage and Stampede. So when you're PvEing, this is going to be your second spin other than Raging Thunder. You need Raging Thunder 6 and Wrath of Beast 3. So you go here. You have this, Raging Thunder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you're going to need this rank, but you should have this absoluted down the line. Very good for PvE. This is a much wider AoE range of spins to hit more mobs. It also, it's got some pretty good damage, gives you magic DP, it's pretty good. It pulls in the targets in PvE, spins them for back attacks. So when you're spinning around the targets, you'll have full back attack damage. It's a knockdown, last hit, air attack modifier. Does a lot of damage. faster spin too, and larger AoE, so it's good. Pick this up for PvE when you're grinding. When you're not grinding, you're not feeling feral rage, you use feral stampede. This does a shit ton of damage in PvP. This will quickly close the gap to opponents. Stiffens them. It's got a very high accuracy rating. It's got, you know, you can see right there, it's got 25%. It's a monster. It's really nice. When you successfully hit an opponent, there's a 30% movement speed reduction, so that's huge. But yeah, you use this mid combo or to engage. It's very good. Unprotected. It used to have an FG on it, but it's okay, I guess. But yeah, it does a lot of damage. Good skill. Really like it. You can also use this into this right here, Awakening Tansu swap. So you use this for your Awakening swap from this, and it's good protection. So yeah, let's get into the Awakening. Alright, moving on now into the Awakening. We're going to start obviously from the top, move our way into the bottom. So at level 56, after you complete the Awakening quest, you'll receive the Iron Buster. So this is pretty much what the Awakening is. Imagine it as a hand cannon. You pretty much use the hand cannon or the Iron Buster to pretty much use it for mobility, a lot of damage. Pretty much Awakening fixed a lot of the things that the pre-Awaken lacked. A lot of the CC and damage from range you might not be able to obviously obtain. It helps at closing gaps. It's very nice in that regard. And it just gave a very unique playstyle. There's really no other class in the game like this one. I mean, think about it. You're going from 2 axes to a cannon on your arm. So this is really cool. A little off topic, but the lore for this is actually pretty good. So a little off topic, but it's pretty cool. But in terms of in-game use of what this is used for, so obviously this is your transition swap from your axes to the Awakening weapon. And you can pretty much from pre-Awakening do this from a variety of moves. You can do it all the way, like I mentioned before, from Feral Stampede all the way to Raging Thunder. You can Y-swap from. You can Y-swap from Predatory Hunt, FD, you know, BC Windslash. So that's a theme that you'll notice when you're swapping with a lot of these different sort of moves. They do different animations. So the Y-swap animation you'll do for Feral Stampede and Tackling Rock isn't the same Y-swap that you'll do with Predatory Hunt, for example. Now, I'm pretty sure that the transition time is the same. So that's what I forgot to mention. This has an FG upon swapping. I don't know if it's a 3.5 second FG or if it's a 4 second. I don't know. I'd have to calculate that. Or, you know, I don't really pay attention to that kind of thing, but I know that it lasts a good amount of time. I don't know if it's like 2.5, 3 seconds, 3.5, or 4. Like, I really don't pay attention. I kind of doubt it's 4 seconds. I mean, you have to be really long, or you'd have to be slowed by attack speed or something. But it lasts a good fair bit. It's an FG with no cooldown, so it's pretty strong in that regard. This is pretty much your entire protection right here, to put it simply. So when you're pretty much swapping from any of these moves, like I said, you use that as pretty much a cancel, a swap to Awakening. You use it for protection, you know, one of those reasons, any of those reasons, honestly. So you're using it to obviously swap, like I said, for FG protection or a cancel. So that's what it's pretty much used for a lot of the time in terms of combat. But that's pretty much what you get at level 56, and those are its purposes. Moving on now into rooting. So this is our 4th and final grab. Let me move that up for you so you can kind of see it. Alright, it's not moving. GG's. So this is pretty much your fourth and final grab, like I said. This is a grapple that you have to use wisely. It's not a grapple that you want to use just freely and, like it's no big deal. It's got a 40-second cooldown. It's automatically learned, so that's good. Doesn't cost any skill points, but, it's unprotected. The super armor got ripped away from it. You can't use it in pre-awakening, even though you can put it on a ring menu slot. It's a very risky grab to sort of use. It is affected by attack speed, so if you get hit with an attack speed debuff, you will notice that you will be rooting very slowly. So that's something you gotta watch out for. On top of the cooldown, on top of the fact it doesn't have any protection on it, it is affected by attack speed debuffs. So this is a grab that you want to use when you are sure you're going to kill the person when you grapple them, or if none of your other grapples are available. This is not something that I would use freely. I mean, I do use it. If a lot of my other abilities are on cooldown, I catch the person with rooting. It's very good to do out of the mobility out of Berserker. So, for example, I would use Buster Training mobility. I'll go to that in a second. But you use this for mobility. I showed that in my video. And I grapple people with rooting immediately, but just by doing RB, RT, left stick up, as I'm sort of angling it with the left stick, trying to catch the person, and you catch them at rooting. So, like I said, very risky grab to use. It's affected by attack speed debuffs. It's got no protection on it. It's got a 40-second cooldown. It does a good amount of damage. It's got a high accuracy rating, of course, just like all the other grabs, and it does a great amount of damage, but it's something that you just gotta watch out for. So be cautious and wise when using this skill. You don't want to waste that. Moving on into our class buff. So pretty much, this is the very famous Q buff. This is called Titan Syndrome. So let's delve into what is it? What does it do? When to use it? When do I use it? How do I use it? That's a great question. So first off, let's go into what is it? This is your awakening class buff. Every class in the game gets a class buff, and ours is called Titan Syndrome. So this pretty much says it in the description. You're a descendant of Tantu. So you pretty much are fully entitled to use the full power of the Iron Buster. So what does that mean? So when you press Titan Syndrome, you will glow red, and pretty much what it does, it will enhance all of your Iron Buster abilities. So, I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them. It will enhance Ancient Wave, Titan Blow, Flame Buster, and Ancient Power. I'll go into what that means in a second, but I'm just going to go over pretty much what it does. So it does a little bit of damage when you slam, obviously. It's not really impressive. It's only 125 times 1. It's not that much at all. Doing this all in one take here. So upon using it, you'll immediately notice that you get 400 WP. That's your willpower, that's your mana. And what that means is that that will instantly refill your entire mana bar. So if you're very low, let's say, or whatever the reason could be, it will automatically fill it to 400 WP. So that's awesome. It's great. Because the mana consumption on Berserker is ridiculous. So it's cool. It increases all of your DP by 20 for 30 seconds. Very cool. Makes you tankier in combat. You get a 200 HP heal every 5 seconds for 30 seconds. Very cool. That heal also stacks with any of your heals. So Beast Roar, Wailing Beast, Wrath of Beast, Ire of Beast, Fearsome Tyrant, Titan Blow, Blasting. It stacks with all of them. And on top of that, it also stacks with the fairy, so you can have up to 3 heals going on at once, which is very cool. So that's also nice. Gives you a 50% to all resistances in the game. So pretty much any CC type in the game, 50% resistance against all of them for 30 seconds. And you have super armor when casting the ability. So that's cool. Now we know what it gives you. When do you use it? Actually, before I go into that, what does it do? What does it enhance exactly? So this is what it changes. So just going down the list here, when you activate it, for example, Titan Blow has a charge. So what this allows it to do is pretty much ignore the charge completely and take the maximum damage of Titan Blow and just immediately throw out the damage. There's no charge time, it's immediate, and does the maximum amount of damage. No protection obviously on the skills or anything like that. That'd be cool. Going down here again with Flamebuster, this will allow you to do the notorious Q buff. Like, this is what people think Q buff is. This is what it actually is. It's Flamebuster. I will go into how to use this in a fight when I get up to the Flamebuster skill, but it pretty much instantly charges this skill as well with Ancient Power. This is just a flow off of Flamebuster, so that's pretty much what you use it for. It instantly charges that as well. Both are instantly charged. There's no charge time. And then lastly, instantly throws out Ancient Wave, maximum damage. Even though it doesn't make a difference, but there's no charge time pretty much. So that's pretty much what it enhances. Very cool. So, when do you use this skill? Well, like a lot of people call it, this is a siege buff, or a whatever you want to call it buff. You use this during times where you are engaging into a great number of enemies, or you feel like you're going to be pressured by a lot of enemies. This is not a buff to just throw around and freely use because it looks cool. This is a extremely powerful buff. Past just the stuff that it gives you, it makes it so that you can spam Flamebuster. And even though that it's shitty on console, you gotta understand, guys, that Titan Syndrome allows you to literally break any of the rules that it has and permanently knock down and down smash people off cooldown. It's a extremely powerful ability that you cannot let go to waste. So the best times that you guys want to use this is when you see a enemy ball pushing in, you wait a few seconds for their PAs to run out, and then boom, you use this. You can use that for the offensive as well, because obviously when you're pushing in, they're going to be using PAs, and then when they're pushing into you, they're going to be using PAs. So I wait a little bit to use this. So after a few seconds, I'll pop it, and I start going to town. I'll delve into exactly how to Flamebuster cancel in a second. It's very easy. I have a video already made for it. I'll put it on the side here to show you what it is. It's very easy. I'll delve into that in a second. Well, not in a second, but coming up. I'll delve into that, so don't worry. But I can't stress to you enough, guys. Do not let this go to waste. This is not a little powerful ability. This is one of the strongest class buffs in the entire game. Even though that it's, granted, obviously we don't have it from PC, it's still the same skill. It still does the same thing. So all the properties are the same, besides the spam part. Still functions the same way. So don't waste this skill, guys. Moving on now into Titan Step. This is your Awakening dropkick skill. It's the better brother of Weakling Hunt. This is one of my favorite abilities in Awakening. Not only because of it offers mobility, but it offers you a cool debuff. It's a air smash, it's a down smash on flying kicks. It's really cool. It's, it allows you to crouch shot Flamebuster. That also is a air smash and a down smash. So pretty much, I'll just go into each part here. So obviously, the move itself doesn't do a lot of damage. We all know that. It's really not that much. But what does it do? So first off, the skill has pretty much no cooldown to use in terms of using it, like the actual skill. It's got a minus 15 DP debuff on it that you can freely put on anybody. The DP debuff doesn't really matter. You can put it on, it's not that it doesn't matter, but you can pretty much put it on anybody at any time. There's no little time limit that prohibits you from not being able to use it. So you can use this pretty much at any time, and it will put a minus 15 DP debuff on the opponent, which makes them a lot squishier, and you do a lot more damage. So that's cool. Just by tapping the B button, that will do the floating ability on it, and that will pretty much allow you to get a float off on an enemy. A lot of people don't really use it for that. You can, but that's pretty much just, not really a lot of people. I don't see a lot of Zerkers, and myself too. I don't really use it for that. What a lot of people use it for is when you hold down LT and then B, and you use that for the knockdown. The knockdown's cool because it's called the flying kick. So on a flying kick, that pretty much not only knockdowns, but it has a chance to down smash and air smash. So in a lot of combos that I've done, when I'm fighting very tanky targets, a lot of the time I'll do Smackdown, 3 slams forward. I'll do Storming Beast kick, obviously, out of Smackdown, FD, into ground lift. I'll try to fit in 2 to 3 FDs, and then I do ground lift, followed by general disarray, followed by a flying kick, Titan Step, the KD version of Titan Step, by holding LTB. Do evasion to the side, shake off, ancient wave, split shot, and that will pretty much kill most people, even evasion carried people in this game. So that's just an example of it. But tapping. So this is the 3 things pretty much to understand from this move. It's got a no cooldown debuff you can put on anybody. It does have a cooldown for the CC. Pressing B will give you the float. It's also decent if you want to move around for mobility. You can tap it. The better mobility is by holding B. That's what I showed in my mobility guide, is by holding B, and then tapping left or right on the left stick while holding left trigger if you want to, but mostly just pressing B, moving left or right with the stick. You can decide when you want to do a crouch shot, or by doing LTB, and that will do the KD effect. So, So the holding B will do the KD effect. It's just a longer animation, and then the left trigger B is a KD as well, but it's a smaller sort of kick, so to speak. Kind of confusing, especially when I'm kind of not really showing what I'm talking about, but I'll say it again. So you tap B, that is your float. Hold B, that is your KD. It's also what I use for mobility that I showed in my guide. Holding LTB is also a KD, but it's a shorter, pretty much version of it. Now, when you hold B or LTB, you can instantly cancel Lava Piercer out of it. So it's pretty cool for canceling, You can bait people with it. You can pretty much belly flop on the ground. People will be like, "Oh, what is this guy doing?" And then you do LTA for Lava Piercer, and you're moving again in Super Armor. Holding B and then pressing RT for Flame Buster will activate the crouch shot effect. That's what you see down there. That's a KD from range, and it's also a air smash and down smash on the good effects. And holding LTB or holding B, well, actually holding LTB in front of an opponent while the skill isn't on cooldown will have a chance to down smash or air smash the opponent. So that's cool in that regard. Great skill. You don't have to put any skill points into it. Didn't mean to delve a little bit too much in this skill, but it's a great skill. Throw this into pretty much a lot of your combos. This is really good to destroy heavy DP targets, so use this skill. It's good to get used to, and it's a great skill all around. I like it. Excuse me. Now moving on to Buster Training. This is a very important skill. This is probably the most important skill out of the entire Awakening kit. So pretty much, this is your Buster Training. What does that mean? So the damage on it and everything on it is completely irrelevant. The float, yada yada, irrelevant. The biggest and most important part about it is the fact it gives you a 20% attack speed bonus. That's the biggest and most important part. So before you had this in the pre-awakening kit, you were pretty much moving around pretty slowly. Even though people on the other side of the screen would say, hey, you're like blinking everywhere. To be honest, that's just there. It's just the game. But on our side of the game, you were moving extremely slow. The reason why that is because Berserker has the slowest animation speeds in the entire game. Out of any class in the entire game, Berserker's base speed is the slowest. We have the slowest attack speed, and the slowest movement speed in the entire game. I think it's actually slower than Guardian if we're talking without Buster Training here. I think maybe they're similar, but pretty much my point of what I'm saying here, guys, is that if you don't have Buster Training up, you're not doing anything. I already mentioned this in my other video guide that I posted, but without this up, guys, you're not doing anything. You're not going to be able to combo effectively. You're not going to be able to maneuver around. You're not going to be able to combo like anything. You're not going to be able to do any of the mobility, like anything that I've ever put out. Anything that you see Berserkers do. The only reason why they're doing that at all is because they're keeping this up. It sucks because it's so good, but you have to use it every like 5 seconds, which is such a pain in the ass. I wish it lasted longer, because by the time you're done using it and you're fully buffed up between using all your other buffs you have to do, it's already at 5 seconds, and it's like shit. It's like, okay, one engage failed, and then you're using this. The cool part about this, though, at least, is past that annoyance, you can pretty much use this for mobility. It's really amazing. The mobility and how do you do that, I explained that already in another video. You can check that out on my channel. But you pretty much do Buster Training forward, like you're doing left stick forward. And then you're holding RB, right? That does Buster Training punches forward. But then you throw in shake off, so you're holding RB going forward with left stick and aiming in the direction that you want to go while tapping RB. Now that's if you're just doing the basic movement. If you have an elite controller or like a Wolverine, you can throw in Flame Buster there too and make it even go faster. I delved into how to do that also on the other video. I don't remember at the time if I had a Wolverine if I was using it. I don't currently right now because they've been breaking like crazy. The RB's buttons break crazy on this class because everything's RB. But if you bind Flame Buster to a ring menu, like I mentioned, and then you do Flame Buster, Buster Training, Shake Off, pretty much timing it all together, you will move really fast. So I pretty much, like I said, show that in that video. It's pretty much meaningless on console because it's very hard to do. and it's unprotected. So yeah, while it looks cool, there's pretty much no purpose to it. Binding Flamebuster to any ring menu is pretty much useless anyways because we don't have Flamebuster spam like PC since it's disabled on console. But simply to do the mobility, hold left stick forward, hold RB, make sure you get the Buster Training 20% attack speed off at all times, and then you tap RB in any direction that you're going in. You can throw in some cool stuff too by going left or right, holding the right bumper, and going left to right with the stick. It'll consume a lot of stamina, but if you time it with shake off, you move super fast to the side to throw off your enemy. Great mobility, great skill. I wish that the attack speed on it either lasted longer or it was a passive or something, because this is unfortunately something that is required on Berserker. This is not something that is you can put on if you want to. Like, no, this is required. So make sure you have this up 24/7. I don't care what the excuse is. Okay, moving now on into the actual skills. We're gonna start with blasting, move into Flamebuster, Devastation, Ground Lift, Titan Blow, Giant Leap, and then all the flows we're gonna go into. So we're gonna start with blasting. It's a pretty good skill. Does a lot of damage. It has a air attack and down attack modifier. Pretty much, just to get this out of the way, when it comes to your entire awakening kit, you pretty much want to get everything you see here. It's pretty worth it. So if you're going into PvE, definitely want to pick up everything here in the awakening. It's pretty much worth noting that everything here you're going to pretty much be using. So if you're doing PvE, just pick up pretty much everything you see here as soon as you can. And obviously, you're going to want Feral Rage, Wailing Beast, all your passives, rank 3 on the heals here, Ire, Wrath, Beast Roar, Lava Piercer, Raging Thunder when you can, rank 4 of this at least, Absolute FD, Rock Smash, rank 3 Tackling Rock, Storming Beast, Absolute Smackdown. If you're just sticking to strictly PvE, then Awakening will be fine for you just for a while. There's not really much in the pre-Awakening that you're going to really need besides really FD. Awakening is mostly where everything comes down to. Just FD and the spin and pre-Awakening is just the biggest priority, and getting Feral Rage and Wailing Beast. That'll really honestly do you good. So you're strictly sticking to PvE, and obviously the rank 3 of the heals. So yeah, just had to get that out of the way. So going back into it, blasting is a obviously unprotected ability. It costs a lot of skill points, just like everything else does, but this is pretty much going to be worth it for you. It does 1,314 times 2. It's got 3 hits. It's got a really high accuracy rating of 13%. It's got a 70 HP heal upon every good hit. So that's pretty nice. That's a 210 heal for 3 hits. Very cool. Does also recover 25 WP every good hit. So it's nice. It does knockback in PvP, but you don't really use it for that. As you see down there, like I said, it's got an air attack and down attack modifier. So the best time to use this is when you are doing, you hit a person with the Titan step float by pressing B, or most of the time you use it when you're doing ground lift or general disarray. And you follow up with this because they'll get hit with a down attack modifier and a air attack modifier. So you use this, and it will chunk their health. It's also good for PvE if you're trying to pull aggro. A lot of people put their add-ons on that right before they engage, but I don't personally do that. I will delve into sort of what I do in a second here. So, moving on, but real quick to close this, it's great. So pick up blasting, great skull, good finisher, good damage. When everything is off cooldown, it's nice. So Flamebuster. So I pretty much already went into how to cancel it and stuff. I'll show it again. So you're pretty much, when Titan Syndrome is activated, to cancel it, you're pretty much just holding RB, RT, and canceling. Obviously, you keep a Buster training, and then you're pressing RB, RT, like you're holding them, and then you cancel with your left stick going left or right. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy. You gotta work on the timing with that to not trigger shooting mobility or Titan Blow. And other than that, that's pretty much how you cancel Flamebuster on console. You want to make sure you see the explosion to see that you're getting the full damage. So, this skill in itself doesn't really do that much damage, but when it's fully charged, it does a good amount of damage. While charging it, it does have an FG, as well as the flow, ancient power, but you're not really using it for that a lot of the time. Just kind of throwing out pepper damage when this is off cooldown. If that, it's nothing to boast about. I mean, I'm currently 264. I get fighting soft cap to pound armors, and when this thing isn't charged, I mean, even with Q buff, it's really not doing that much damage. You would definitely need 269 against soft cap armor to do damage with this ability. So when it comes to the crouch shot, I already explained it before with the Titan step. By holding B or holding LTB, you press right trigger to trigger the crouch shot. Your crosshair has to meet up, as well as just the cannon in the camera direction that you're going in, so that you can make sure that you're hitting the target. So unless your body's aligned with where you're aiming, you're not going to hit the target. It's really weird, I know, because your cannon can literally hit where the person is and it won't even CC them, so it's stupid. The crouch shot does have a pretty sure it has a down smash on it. Yep, an air smash. So all crouch shot is again is just taking this, pressing B, or holding B, my bad, or LTB, and then pressing RT, aiming in the direction of the opponent, so that it is a knockdown. Explained that in my other video. It is KD. So this is pretty much what I use it for all the time. Even before engages, I always crouch shot before I engage a Q buff, just to try to get people knocked down. It's cool. So, charging the skill in itself, not really worth. Won't do you that good. It's a pretty weak ability, honestly. It's really only good when Titan Syndrome's activated. So, skill's pretty trash. But it does CC, it's nice. There's really nothing more I can say about this skill. If you check out my add-on guide, I put accuracy on it because it doesn't have any accuracy modifiers, so I put that on there to make it do more damage. And I put the 10% movement speed to stack with Beastly Wind Slash. And that's pretty much it with this skill. Yeah, so moving on to go into Devastation. This is probably the most important skill you want to pick up, in my opinion, for Awakening. The add-ons you could put on it is 30 monster AP in PvE and a 7% attack speed. That will increase your DPS and everything, and just makes the move a lot faster. Does a decent amount of damage. It's nothing to boast about, obviously. It's really not that much in PvP, despite it having a 20% critical rating, 50% accuracy rating, etc. It really doesn't do that much damage. It takes way too long to charge, and it's pretty much just does pot damage on the enemy. Even the Black Spirit Rage version does too. In PvE though, this is a really good skill to pretty much use pretty much whenever it's off cooldown in a pack of mobs. It will debuff them and it'll buff you, and it's just cool. It really is. It does, 30 monster AP is really strong in PvE, and you'll just shred the packs. It's huge AoE. It's really good. Pick this skill up, phenomenal. And in PvP, you pretty much use this skill to pretty much debuff the opponents, and you can instantly cancel it with Shake Off. I already mentioned this before, but pretty much any skill in this kit can be cancelled with Shake Off. Either Shake Off or Buster Training. So, pretty cool. Next skill we'll be going into is Ground Lift. This is one of your few other engages besides shooting mobility and crouch shot and, grapples. This is your only other ability to engage with. The skill does not have any super armor, so this is just a disclaimer just to get over with now. Nothing you have in Awakening is super armor. Just want to get that stated over with. A lot of people who fight like really good berserkers, they think like, oh, you sit in SA and like, oh, you're sitting in SA, but the reality is that you really only have Devastation, Giant Leap, Jump Sequence, Slugfest, and Earth Dividing and that's just the flow off of this. So you really only have 1, 2, 3 super armors in Awakening. And this doesn't even work, so. But we're going to delve into that in a second. Back to Ground Lift. So this skill does really good damage in PvE. It's actually it's getting a buff, so that's nice. So is Devastation, by the way. So that's cool. PvE, I don't know about the PvP changes yet. We didn't see them. But pretty much this, it does have a cooldown on it of 8 seconds, but you can use it off cooldown to continuously spam. So this is kind of what I was saying before. My add-ons that I have, so I have the 20 monster AP and 4% attack speed. That's to set up combos in PvP and obviously make you go faster, but it also allows you to kill packs faster in PvE, and it also keeps up monster AP continuously. It never goes off cooldown ever. The monster AP, you can Lava Piercer to attack, Ground Lift, General Disarray, and like General Disarray goes off of Ground Lift's add-ons, so they both stack together. So that's cool. Really is. So pick that up. 20 monster AP, 4% attack speed. Pick this up immediately. Pretty good damage. Good engage in PvP. Not protected, but everything on the Berserker anyways is a risk, so might as well get used to that. So pick this up. Very good. Next skill we'll be going into is Titan Blow. I'd say out of every move that got gutted on this class, I would say that Titan Blow was probably the most ridiculous change that they made on it. They took away the super armor and they put a forward guard only while charging, and then they put a heal on it while using the skill and charging. Just stupid. Like, nobody wants that. So hopefully they listen to us. Hopefully this gets changed to a super armor. They could even take away the CC. Literally, nobody cares. The CC can go. Like, no one actually cares. And they can take away the heal too. No one cares. So keep the damage. Put the super armor. That's all we want. Anyways, so this is one of the abilities that I mentioned before that can be instantly used when Titan Syndrome is activated. Charge time on this skill is ridiculous. The Black Spirit Rage version of this skill is even more ridiculous. Takes forever to charge, and both are unprotected. Granted, it does a lot of damage, but it's unprotected. So you got to be very cautious when using this ability, because you can get killed in an instant if you use this at the wrong time. So you need to really pinpoint when to use this and when not to. Does a great amount of damage though, so it is pretty cool in that regard. But Do not use this when engaging into an enemy unless like you have teammates around you or you already have them CC'd. But you want to get this up anyways because the damage of this uh, scales into Ancient Wave. So make sure you obviously have this up. Titan Blow is just it's a cool skill. It's nice. Um, Obviously, with the more AP you get, the more damage it's gonna do, and you'll definitely notice that on this skill. So yeah, cool skill. Make sure you rank this up. You need it for Ancient Wave. I'll go into that now. A lot of the moves that flow into from different stuff. So actually going back to Flame Buster for a second. So shooting ability. There's a flow out of Flame Buster. So pretty much this is used as a escape ability or engage. They consider it a you dodge like it's an escape ability. It used to be protected, so I don't really know how you can say it's an escape ability when it doesn't have any protection on it. I can't even tell you how many times I get CC'd with this in SA. I mean just get CC'd by it, and I wish it was SA. So I get CC'd in this like crazy. But it's cool. If you time it right, you can down smash. You can do some stylistic combos with this. Like, it's really cool what you can do with this skill. It's pretty cool. I really like it. It is pretty cool at putting distance between you and the target, so that is really nice with that. It's probably the best engage we have in Awakening because it's a range stiff and it catches people. So it's really nice in that regard. The damage really isn't that insane, but it does, like I said, it does have a air smash and down smash on it. So the down smash I see a lot. So that's cool. So this scales off of Flame Buster. And Split Shot also scales off of Flame Buster. And you can use Split Shot after Ancient Wave and Titan Blow. That's nice. This is a follow-up flow to it that will do a lot of damage. This also does have a down attack and air smash. Down smash and air smash modifier. It also does have a air attack and down attack modifier on it. And all the damage is equal to Flame Buster's damage times 3. So it does a lot of damage at close range. And they just fixed the bug on it to where it wasn't doing damage to all 10 targets. So that's nice. Lastly, moving into Giant Leap. This is your Awakening ultimate. Damage on it is pathetic. You need like 281 AP to really be effective with this against soft cap armor. You have no click to move, so you can't condense the damage into one spot. So you'll need a lot of AP to compensate for that, and just to do damage with it in general, you definitely need like 281. If you're expecting to do damage with the skill on console, you need 281 AP. Like, I don't really care what anybody says. Like I said, I'm 264 in my Awakening. Like, I have RBF crystals in. I have a great amount of accuracy. Like, you're not killing shit. Like, the skill itself already has a great amount of accuracy on it. Like, it's got a 14% plus the accuracy that you just naturally have. It's just not killing anything. You need an insane amount of AP to make use of this. So my suggestion to you is, if you're in a large scale situation and you don't have like an insane amount of AP to really get away with this skill, to actually properly use it, you need to consume with Rage, your common Rage to give you AP. You pop your Titan Syndrome and you just cannon spam with Flame Buster. That's honestly the best thing that you can do in PvE. I mean in PvP for large scale, because this is not killing shit. Even if you do this ultimate against the wall and you don't have enough AP, you're still only maybe killing 1 to 3 people at most. And I don't know if you know, but it takes us forever to build Rage, and this shouldn't just be killing 1 or 2 people. This is the second strongest ultimate in the game. At least I don't know Guardian's ultimate numbers, but speaking of classes that are currently here right now, Valkyrie is the only other class with a stronger ultimate than this. And it's not really doing that much damage. So you need an insane amount of AP with the ultimate. So that's that. In terms of escaping and engaging with this skill, it is our only escape ability in Awakening that's protected. Pretty much our only real escape ability. To show you kind of what I mean by that, kind of with the videos. I don't know what's going on. There we go. So you can see, as you can see with jump sequence, you go in, get out. That's pretty much what you can do with both skills. You can just go backwards. You can spin. You can really get in people's heads with this ability by moving in random directions. By going forward, like he's doing in that video that you see, you're able to bait people. You have lingering SA. So you can really bait people with this. Oh, so pretty much I'm going to cover that real quick because I didn't get a chance to. So I'll list out all of the lingering SA abilities. I'll do that. I'll do that when I get up to Slugfest. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this. So yeah, Giant Leap you can linger the SA on it when going forward, and you can hold the SA while charging it backwards by holding B. So going backwards with the left stick, holding B, it will charge, but it'll consume a huge amount of stamina. So make sure you pick this up though. If you're really strapped for SP, just get the rank 1 because it's really all you need. 6 SP, so that's cool. It will help in catching, pack to pack, so that's cool. You don't need to put add-ons on this; it's really not necessary. So one of the things that I really like about this ability is that when the target's down and you retreat off of their body, it will chunk the shit out of them. So it's got a down attack modifier, so it's really cool. So I can't stress to you enough, guys. Also, this skill will give you so much issues in terms of reliability. It's supposed to be an iframe in the air. It's not an iframe in the air. It does not work. It's a lie. I don't care what anybody says. Stop saying that it's an iframe. It doesn't work. It's garbage. It's slow. It's trash. The iframe barely works. I notice it sometimes, but it does not work. So it's a very unreliable skill. You just gotta go in expecting you're gonna get CC'd with this skill. So if you're ever engaging, even on a large scale with the ultimate, I've been floated through it. I've been fucking killed through it by an archer, out of render distance while in mid-flight, where you're supposed to have an iframe. I've been fucking just CC'd so much through it. So it's gonna be a lot of berserkers raging at this ability, and I'm one of them. It says it has no character collision when using it, no collision, yada yada. It's a fucking lie. It has major hitstun problems. Just like everything else on Berserker, everything's collision, everything's annoying. But this skill is probably the worst. If they made this just an invincible upon use, that would make it so much better. Because right now it's dog shit. So yeah. So just to recap on this ability one more time. Do not waste your time on relying on this if you think it's going to be providing you any protection. You will get hit out of it so much. And you're only using the ultimate, the Black Spirit Rage on this ability when you have an insane amount of AP. I just want to tell you guys something right now. This class is only good when you have more gear than your opponent, because our damage is nerfed in PvP. Okay? No, I mean, there's a lot of people who think oh my god, Berserker scaling's insane. I don't know, where that came from, and I think the damage is okay, but It's not insane. It got nerfed. We have less AP scaling in PvP than I'm pretty sure any other class in the game. Um, and I can show you on the screen literally proof of that. Um, so to make any purpose with this class, to make any difference on the battlefield, you need to have way more AP than anybody around you. I don't know why our scaling is nerfed like that, but they nerfed it a while back. I have no idea why, but it got nerfed a while back, and it's never been looked into again. Uh, it's just stupid. So yeah, you'll need to outgear your opponent heavily to use anything on this kit. But lastly, to cover Slugfest, great skill. Got nerfed heavily. The damage on its dog shit. It's on the slate for being buffed in PvE, so that's cool to see. Um, it's got an invincible on it for PvE in only the first two hit motions. That makes no sense. It's so weird. I don't know who came up with that, but you're weird. It's got a good amount of accuracy rating. To make use of this skill is usually, like I just said, you need to have a lot of AP. The accuracy rating on it's really good, so it's pretty cool in that regard. It's got a high crit rate. That's nice. It's fast. It's got an air attack and down attack modifier. It also does have an air smash and down smash, so that's cool as fuck. Um, it's a good damage filler for PvE. Also, I use this constantly. So if everything else is on cooldown or whatnot, just run up to a pack, ground lift, general disarray, slugfest. It's a little good damage filler. The BSR version of this is garbage. Don't even waste your time. And yeah, so this is pretty much good to use when laying down damage for group fights and stuff. It's nice. Doesn't do a lot of damage at all, but it's okay, I guess. Some people. But now we're going to delve into the lingering super armors. Yay. So, when going backwards with Smackdown, that's a lingering SA. Your animation as you've successfully grappled them and you're going up is a lingering SA. So you can't be CC'd as you're getting up from the animation, getting off the ground, off your back. That's cool. Warp Storm, you hold RB to spin them again. You can linger that. And then when you're slamming them once, mid-slam, when you're about to slam them for the second time, when you're about to, so right after the first slam, and you're about to slam them again, you can linger that by pressing A into Undertaker, and you can linger that as well. So that's cool. Can't really linger Undertaker that much. I guess near the end of the animation. You can linger Rock Smash with an opponent. So you hold the opponent, you hold them for about 2 to 3 seconds, standing still, and then you run forward for about 1.2 seconds, like 1.5 seconds, or I'd say just about another 1 second. So you hold them in the air for like 3 seconds, then you run forward for about another second or two, and then you press RB for a slow slam to the ground. The entire time you have SA. That entire time. That's how you can linger it. Obviously, you could do like you can do the tombstone, pile drive. Obviously, that's SA too. But if you're just trying to linger SA, that's how you do it. Let's see. Predatory Hunt. You can time the jumps in between right before you do the next jump. So by holding RB, obviously you jump, but by pressing RB slowly in between the jumps, you can linger that, and you can also linger the SA at the end. You can press B at any time in the middle of the predatory hunts jumps, and you also have SA during that time too. You'll notice your character will do like that little thing he just did. So he'll do one jump like he's doing, 2, 3, 4, and then you see where he kind of does the thing with his axes at the end. That's also SA. So you can press B at any time and do that animation. You have SA. Lava Piercer. You can extend the SA by running in random directions to kind of extend it a little bit based on movement. I think it's the same distance regardless. I don't really feel like it is because when I have the movement speed on, I feel like I'm going for a longer distance. That's just my opinion though. I don't know if that's a fact. I'm probably wrong, but I feel like I last longer when I have faster movement speed activated. And then you can linger that by doing Lava Piercer into Shake Off, and you have SA during that, so that's cool. Beast Roar's SA can be lingered, so you just let the ability sit there, and even when you're coming back into the axes, like your normal self from the beast, you have SA. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Tackling Rock. Obviously, that can be lingered. Like I already told you before, you can literally just hold it down and then charge at the person, and then go into your Y swap, and that's FG the whole time. Wrath of Beast, you can literally let it slam, so that entire time you have FG, a target's in front of you, and then your character can go up. Well, you notice in the video how his axes kind of go up right there. You see how his body goes up like there? Right before you go back into your axe stance, you can press RB again, and then have FG that entire time. And also continue to have FG at the end of Ire of Beast. So that's cool. You can SA Linger Wailing Beast as well. So as same thing like the other ability, Wrath of Beast and Ire. When you're going back into your axe stance, you have SA. So that'll give you a good amount of time to maybe go into another super armor. Or you can grab a person, so you bait them by lingering your SAs. You can bait them into a grapple. Devastation can also be lingered, the end of the animation, but mostly to linger it for an extremely long time, you just do the Black Spirit Devastation. So you literally just go into it, it's very slow, completely SA, and then you hold RT at the end of the Devastation, and that will activate Earth Dividing, and that's also SA. That can also be lingered, and then you can grapple anybody that comes in your radius. Giant Leap, like I mentioned before, by going forward, doing LT up, and then slamming the ground, going forward. That stance where you're going back into your buster, like that. You see what he's doing at the end right there? You have SA that entire time up until the point where you go back into your stance. So you gotta just time that correctly. You have SA, and then you can bait people into a grapple. That also works with jump sequence as well. And then lastly, Slugfest. You can linger this as well. So you let the animation play out, punch, 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 punch. You can slowly, you can go into the slow animation just by holding RB as soon as you activate the ability, but if you want to linger it, you let it go for about a second after you activate the ability, and then you hold RB, and it'll linger the animation. It also does throw out more damage. So you just activate the ability, punch, 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 and then hold RB, then it'll stop it. Because it does last longer than what people think it does. So that's the SA lingering. So to pretty much cover up this video, I'm just going to recap real quick. So starting with the pre-awakening to pretty much cover it all, I'm going to highlight the abilities to get. So you want to make sure you grab this. This is if you have the SP. So this is your goal. If you have the SP, this is what you get. So you unlock Evasion, you use this for mobility, and you unlock and activate Ultimate Evasion. You get Absolute Headbutt, get Absolute Smackdown, get Ultimate Storming Beast, Absolute Storming Beast, rank 2 of Corpse Storm, rank 3 of Undertaker for the Smackdown cancel, as well as the Undertaker damage, rank 4 of Shake Off, rank 3 of Tackling Rock, rank 3 or above for Rock Smash, Extreme Beastly Wind Slash. Flows, you can get Beastly Maneuver 1, Beastly Instincts, optional. Make sure you get Absolute FD, Absolute Predatory Hunt, or rank 4 Predatory Hunt, Absolute Raging Thunder, make sure you get, It's bugged. I don't know why it is, but just get that. Rank 3 of Beast Roar, rank 3 of Lava Piercer, rank 3 of Wrath of Beast, rank 3 of Ire Beast, all your passives. Get Wailing Beast regardless. And if you're PvEing, get Feral Rage. If you're PvPing, get Feral Stampede. And get everything in your Awakening. Everything. Get everything. So, what do I think about... Oh, yeah. And then make sure you get Ultimate Beastly Windslash and Windstorm. And, yeah. That's pretty much the entire skill guide. Lingering SA guide, everything. Entire skill guide. 1889 for the end result for everything that you would need. Actually, that's a lie. You would need to add 46. But that's pretty much everything in the entire kit that you would need for both PvP and PvE. Like I said, if you're strictly doing PvE, you can obviously remove the grapples and etc. But that's pretty much it. I like doing these kind of videos. If you want me to do a lot more of these commentaries, I have no problem doing them, but it's kind of hard doing this all in one take. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of editing errors and things I might have missed. But just let me know in the comments down below what you guys want me to do. And I appreciate it, man. This has been a pretty highly requested video for me to do, is to go over the skills. So I just thought, why don't I just go over like everything in one video, you know, between the skills, what to invest into, information about the skills, etc. So, yeah. Make sure to comment and subscribe, like the video if you want to, and check me out on Twitch. I stream Berserker, PvE, and PvP, so it'll mean a lot to me. So, yeah, hit me up on Twitch. My thing is just the Guido, just like on here, and I will see you guys later, man. Thanks, guys.